And we're back, and in this one we have an announcement video. I have 3 announcements to make regarding this channel. But before that, we have something of a celebration. As of today, the day this is being uploaded, February 23rd, it is to the day my 15-year anniversary of creating content on YouTube. I started out on February 23rd, 2010, when I was 12 years old. Making Pokemon Let's Plays and ROM hack skits, and then fast forward a few years to December 2013, this channel was born, and here we are over 11 years later, still doing franchise modes. So I've been doing this for a long time, and yet I get the feeling that we're only really just getting started here. Some of you may recall that in my December 30th update video, I mentioned the possibility of doing a rebrand. And while that's still not 100% set in stone, it is something that I have continuously strongly considered over the past couple of months, and it's looking more and more likely by the day. I know that rebranding is a very big change to make, especially on YouTube, so that's why I wanted to let you guys know in advance that is most likely happening, because it's what I believe to be a very strong rebranding, and it's something that I know I can market myself with. And I decided that if I was going to do a rebrand, then I wanted it to be something that not only aligns with the channel's current theming, but also something that would honor the channel's history, right? And while also being different enough from the current branding for it to be its own thing. And that's something that I think I've somehow managed to do. And I'll be honest, this is the first time in my 15 years of doing YouTube that I've actually taken it seriously. Like, it's been nothing more than a hobby for me for these past 15 years. But being in the situation that I'm in, however, which if you watch the December 30th update video, you would know what that is. It's something that I feel I need to do. And I know how crazy that sounds just given the size of this channel, right? And how unlikely it is that I will ever be able to make a living off this channel. But at this point, I feel like I've exhausted every other option, and I really need to make this work. So that's why I've been strongly considering a rebrand. And I actually already have, like I said, I already have a very strong idea in place. However, a rebrand is not going to happen right away because there's still a big chunk of it that has not been completed yet, possibly the biggest part of it. So I don't know exactly, like I can't put a timetable on when that's going to happen, but it should be, I'm hoping sometime in the next couple of months. So hopefully by, you know, NHL playoff time, possibly a little bit later. But despite the fact that I'm most likely rebranding, that will not change the fact that this channel will always have franchise modes on it, all right? It's just something that I really enjoy. Like obviously the fact that I've been on YouTube for this long speaks to the fact that I do enjoy this, and franchise mode will always be a part of this channel. That said, I do want to try to expand the scope of the channel a little bit because FHM is a very small and niche market, right? Because it's competing essentially with EA Sports for the franchise mode market, right? And that's kind of a tall order. So there is a chance that I may get back into EA for things like Be a Pro and, like, you know, actual gameplay, but I do still very much enjoy FHM and Hockey Legacy Manager as well. So those will continue to be how we do franchise modes on this channel, at least for the foreseeable future. Anyway, I think you guys are really gonna like the rebrand because it's something that genuinely makes me excited, because it not only connects to my content, but it connects to me as well. You know, like a lot of my content in the past has been just focused on the franchise modes itself, right? But I want to start doing more content that involves me being a little bit more open, you know, like allows me to open up about myself and allows me to break free of the franchise mode format. You know, like there is a certain format to how I do franchise modes. And so when I start recording franchise modes, I get into that cycle of doing what I need to do for each episode. And it's hard to explain, but I think that sort of hinders my personality in a way, right? Because it's so, like, I'm so used to doing it in a certain way that it doesn't really leave much room for flexibility. And there's a certain aspect of this rebrand, which I will keep a surprise, but I believe the aspect of the rebrand that I'm talking about that I want to keep a secret will help me in breaking out of my shell and being my authentic self, because it is something that quite literally connects to me. And besides all that, I've grown and matured a lot as a person over the past 11 years, ever since I made this channel when I was 16. So I decided to change up the branding to, I guess, signify that in a way. And now for my next announcement, in case you didn't watch my December 30th update video, I announced that I am attempting to go full-time with content creation because of my situation that, once again, I mentioned in my December 30th update video. I have, believe me, I've explored basically every option at this point, and I know how crazy it is for someone of my size on YouTube to want to be doing this full time. But just given the situation I'm in, it is one of my last remaining options, which I don't want to focus on that too much in this video because that's not the point of this video. But I will state it briefly here. I am the full-time and extremely underpaid caretaker of my younger brother who has autism and can't do much for himself. So he needs assistance with basically everything, and that severely limits my options for potential employment. So as a result of that and trying to go full-time with YouTube, I have decided to open up channel memberships. And let me start out by saying that I would not have opened this if I didn't think it would be worth the price or if I wouldn't have paid for it myself. We have a one-tier system. It's just gonna be $2.99 a month. And the name for the tier is pretty fitting, I think. It's called salary retention. I mean, you guys know I love my salary retention trades, so I figured it was fitting to put it as a tier name for channel memberships. And what you will get if you decide to support the channel in this way, you get, of course, a loyalty badge. You get the use of emotes that you can use in the comments, and currently there are 4 of them, but the more people that join as members, the more emotes we can add. You will get the members role and access to members only text channels on the Discord server, which I'll get to in a minute. I also display your name or username at the end of each video while thanking you and other channel members. And this last perk I think is the best one of all of them. I think this is the coolest part. I will make you a custom player in all franchise mode series for the duration of your channel membership. Pretty cool. I thought it would be a good way to get you guys more involved in the content and to be able to see yourselves, or your custom player rather, integrated into the franchise modes in the channel. I mean, for $2.99 a month, I think that's pretty good value there. And of course, you will be able to customize this player. You'll be able to choose the name, position, archetype, date of birth, height, weight, nationality, all of that. However, I only ask that you make sure that the name that you choose for your player is content safe. And what I mean by that, of course, is anything that is and or sounds derogatory or disrespectful will not be used in any fashion. And if it is, then your custom player will be renamed as Joe Average. And I don't think we want that. So just keep that in mind. And also, in the interest of keeping a fair balance of player talent levels throughout the league, your player's current ability and potential will be decided at random with each new franchise mode, but will be no less than a 2.5-star potential to ensure that all custom players are, or at least have a good chance of being an NHL level player. And lastly, I just want to make this clear. You're not and never will be obligated to donate or buy a channel membership or anything to view any of my content, whether it's shorts, videos, or any potential live streams I might do. Never been a fan of that. I'm just grateful that you guys are here in the first place and that you choose to spend some of your time hanging out with me and watching my content. Because time is, you know, it's a very finite resource, and there's so many other things that you could be doing and so many other creators you could be watching. So the fact that you guys choose to spend some of your time here watching my content is always very humbling whenever I think of it that way. So this is just something extra that I feel I can do for those who are willing to and are able to, more importantly, go the extra mile to support me and my family. Please be smart with your money, though. I do not want you to feel obligated to show support financially. All my video content will always be free, all right? I mean, I might eventually do some behind the scenes type of stuff for channel members, but all the core content of this channel will always be available for everyone to watch, all right? Just want to make that clear. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Welcome to the new Discord server, which I call Simmers and Sinners. So here's our rules. It's a pretty standard rule set, I think, for a Discord server. Just be respectful, no malware or harmful material or anything that could pose a cybersecurity risk, right? One of the things that I did in attempting to search for a job that I could potentially do, unfortunately, this didn't work out, but cybersecurity was one of the things that I was looking into as a potential opportunity. I did take a class for it, so I am aware of how to deal with this sort of thing, and also right to privacy. So just don't ask for or share personal private information that could be used to expose someone's privacy, track them, or steal their identity. I mean, this is all mostly just basic stuff, right? Just basic rules that essentially every proper functioning community has, right? Then you have no trolling or flame wars. Ignore and report them. 99% of the time, trolls are just attention seeking. Don't give it to them. Just report them. Rule number 5, no discussion of real world politics, okay? And part of what I do is to give people a distraction from real life, you know, just let them forget about negativity, chaos, and division, all that's happening in the world right now. And just let's not do that, okay? Let's not bring that in here. That's not the environment that I want for this community. And if you're eager to talk politics, please do it somewhere else, okay? I will never talk politics here because Again, that's just not the vibe that I'm going for, you know? And I just want to make it clear that goes for both sides of the aisle, all right? Just no politics in general, no real world politics. And the only reason I say real world is because I know there's, you know, video game politics, which are different in a sense because, you know, they're not real. So I suppose that is okay as long as it doesn't devolve into real world politics, you know, which it very well could, but I did not want to be that restrictive. Like there are games that I enjoy, like Fire Emblem, for example, that's very politics heavy. And that is one of my favorite games of all time. So I didn't want to be that restrictive about it, right? But just stay away from real world politics. That's all I ask. And also, no spamming. Do not flood the server with an excessive amount of messages. I mean, that's pretty standard. No advertising, unless we have a previously established agreement. No disturbing content and behavior. I don't think I really need to read all this out, but it should all be pretty obvious. And then be sure to follow the guidelines in each specific channel and respect mod decisions because they're all people that I trust. And I know there's no mods in here right now, but there will be, hopefully, when the server gets started. And the thing is about the server, you actually will not be able to access the rest of the server until you acknowledge with this emote right here, this React emote, that you have read and understand the rules, and you will be given the community role, which allows you to participate in the chat. And then as far as the roles go, you have general roles, you have commissioner, that's me. You have the moderators, you have the community, which all of you will be a part of. You have the salary retained role, which of course are the channel members. You have the content creator role, so any content creators on YouTube or Twitch can claim that role if they so desire. And of course the bot role, they're not human, they just enable various features on the server. And then there are level roles that you can gain by chatting in the general chat. There is rookie assigned at level 1, regular, veteran, star, and MVP at level 100. Now also keep in mind that levels gradually get harder to earn as you level up. So the difference between level 1 and level 2 is gonna be much smaller than the difference between level 99 and level 100. Like it's gonna take you a while to get there. And then there are also team roles for all 32 NHL teams, and reacting to one of these two posts right here can grant you that team's role to display on your profile. Like as you see on my profile, you can see I have the commissioner role, the devil's role, and the content creator role. So you can use these buttons right here to react, and it will give you your favorite team's role. And then down here, you have the bot info, you have Dino, which just assists with server moderation, the hockey bot, which you can use to display NHL schedule information, player stats, standings, and it also has an NHL trivia game. So you can check available game information for the day. And of course, as I record this, it is during the Four Nations tournament. So unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to get use out of that right now, but you can also do guess the player. You can guess a player. I'm very bad at this. Guess a player from the Winnipeg Jets. Their first name starts with E and they play goalie. Who has it? Oh, Eric Comrie, right? Yep, there it is. That's the first time I've actually gotten that right. So I guess I got an easy one. Then there is also guess the team, which this is much easier in my opinion. This is probably Vancouver, I'm gonna guess. Yep. Yeah, it's just a word scramble, so that's a little bit easier. And then you could also check, of course, the information of a player. So let's just say Jack Hughes. So just basic information on various players throughout the league. You also check the standings if you want to. And there you go. It'll pop up with a whole list of the standings. I don't know how current this is, but it's there. And then as we go back to the list of bots, there's the Lutium bot, which runs the dungeon crawler minigame. I'll get to that in a second. That's probably my favorite part of the server. But essentially, you can use the dungeon commands in the dungeon crawler text channel to go through hypothetical dungeons and a chance to find various virtual cards of modern NHL players, NHL legends, and hockey content creators trapped within the dungeons. And this bot does use a currency, but just know that it's not real money. All features on the bot will always be 100% free to use. Do not accept or propose any offers involving real money. Then you have the Maki bot, which just enhances the overall server experience. It manages the chat level system. You can use it to set an AFK message, set your birthday, which I'll get to in a minute. You can report a user to a moderator or submit suggestions to the suggestions channel, which actually I'll do some of this now. So if you want to set your birthday, you just type /birthday and set the day, then the month and the year, and it sets it, and Maki will remember your birthday, and on the day of your birthday, it will post an automatic message in the birthday channel. You don't have to set that if you don't want. However, keep in mind that I do not know how to undo that once you do set your birthday, so just keep that in mind. So if you don't want your birthday posted on here, then I recommend not setting that. And then there is the suggest command, which if you use /suggest and then your suggestion, it will pop up in the suggestions channel. And then the notify me bot will automatically post all my new videos in the notifications text channel, which it's already done quite a few already. I've been planning this server for quite some time, and at least so far it seems to be on the dot when it comes to notifications. Like it's immediate, so it appears to be much more reliable than YouTube notifications. And then lastly, there is the Pick'em bot, which me or moderator can post the NHL games for each day in NHL Pick'em channel, and you guys can predict the winners of each game. So I'm actually gonna have to go back into my commissioner role here. So if I go post NHL and then date, let's say April 1st, and it will gradually, slowly but surely post all of the games for that day. So the remaining channels, this is the announcement channel. This is where I'll post any announcements that I have. There is, of course, the general chat, the members chat, which once again, you'll only be able to access if you are a channel member. Membership info, I'm not going to click on because that's specifically for members. And of course, we saw the notifications already. The polls channel, this is where I will make hockey or channel related polls that you guys can vote on. And of course, there is the suggestions channel that we saw earlier, birthdays, NHL Pick'em, and the hockey dungeon crawler. So here's how this works. You can use the dungeon command to start, and you need to buy 1 dungeon token for $100. Once again, that's virtual money, that's fake money, okay? So it's just a very basic dungeon crawler game in which you can find the cards of various NHL players. Currently, there's only 30 of them that I have put into the database, but assuming this feature sees use, then I will buy the premium version of the bot, and then we'll be able to add unlimited cards. Unfortunately, I am falling into many traps right now, and the excursions are ending rather prematurely. And there we go. We got Trevor Van Riemsdyk, who is a, I believe, considered a depth player on the rarity list. So we're going to escape. And what we can do now is we can check my inventory and we can make a selection. As you see, I have myself with the my own card there. I'm going to return, and then we'll select JVR, or TVR rather. And if his picture would pop up anytime now, I don't know if it's going to happen. Normally, when you find one of these cards, they do have a picture. Unfortunately, it's not working right now, but you can sell the card. You can also keep it if you want to. So I'm going to sell Trevor Van Riemsdyk for 3,653 virtual dollars. There you go. So maybe you want to be leading in money, maybe you want to be leading in collection, or maybe you want to try both. So there's a couple ways you can go about that. And also just keep in mind, in order to keep this text channel clean, any messages after the one that explains how to play it will be pruned on a regular basis. So posting messages that are unrelated to the bot commands is not recommended because it will not be permanent. And that is the Hockey Dungeon Crawler. So if you guys use that enough, I will buy the premium version of the bot and we can have an unlimited amount of cards. But unfortunately right now, 30 is the maximum. So I believe that just about does it. I'm pretty sure we've covered everything at this point, which I know that was a lot, but it was, you know, that's why I made a video. It was a lot of information. Anyway, I think that'll be about it for this one. So thank you guys so much for all the support and for sticking around. I have 2 big projects planned for this year. One, of course, is the rebrand, but the rebrand itself is part of a much larger project that will benefit all videos moving forward on the channel after, of course, the rebranding launches, right? So look forward to that. And then the other thing I think you guys will really, really like, I think you'll really want to stick around for it. So I hope you guys will stay tuned. And with that, I will see you at the next one and hopefully on the Discord server.